Hello, everyone, and welcome to the IVRL qualifiers number 5 from the IVRL Pro League, sponsored by Live. I have joining me Vrax. Say hello. And today we're going to be casting on Channel 2 these matchups for day number 5 of the qualifiers. It's going to be an interesting matchup today. It's going to be pretty much EU teams that we're going to see here, and a couple of possible NA teams who have not quite made it yet. We're going to see how they do. It's going to be a fairly shorter day than some of the other qualifiers. Not as many teams are competing today. Sounds like we only have 8 teams right now, but still 3 rounds, and top 6 teams will be moving on.
I mean, hey, today's my first day here on the IVRL stream, and, there's a lot on the line here. We're going through these qualifiers. Some of these teams have been practicing for weeks now. Some of these teams are going to be returning for our qualifiers since, you can qualify or you can play qualifiers as many times as you would like, completely open, hop back in, get back into the fun. There's a lot of these names that we're going to recognize, a lot of these names that we're going to see for the first time. And just like you said, there's going to be a lot of people from EU. So there's going to be a ton of new names that we're going to see today for the first time. Super excited, and I cannot wait to get into our first matches.
Yeah, you're so right there. It's amazing to see this kind of organization and format for this tournament. It's great to feel where you could play that first qualifier day. Maybe you guys just weren't playing right. You just weren't quite prepared, and you spend a couple more weeks to get ready. You can come back qualifier 3 or 2, whenever you're ready. Maybe wait only a day, change up the roster a little bit to some guys who are on the bench, and there you go. You just qualified, and now you're moving on to the playoffs. That's huge. Not many tournaments give you that option, so it's very nice to feel like you're not just kind of stuck or you missed out. So it's giving a lot of teams a chance to compete here for a great prize, $35,000 and a trip to Miami. Whew, that sounds pretty nice.
Miami sounds nice, I'm not gonna lie. And just like you were mentioning, these teams can play qualifiers as many times as they would like until they officially make it, to go to Miami, basically, or to get that chance to go to Miami. And that's the beauty of it. Some of these teams that we see today, if they don't make it to, if they don't make it today in our games, we can see them tomorrow. It's that.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds like we are going to be getting into a couple of matches going on here in just a second. So while we get ready, if you want to go ahead and talk about some possible teams we might be seeing today, Vrax, that would be great. Yeah, so it sounds like we're going to be getting ready for our first matchup. The first matchup is going to be Team Kermit versus Team Vegan. So both, I believe, are EU teams. Correct me if I'm wrong. So we're going to be playing on an EU server as well. So that's the nice thing about Vail, is you can hop into an EU server, NA server, and it gives these players a lot better, connections. You don't want to be lagging around, you don't want to be skipping around. It's never fun to be playing in a game that you feel like it's unfair. So it's really nice to have. As we see the teams loading in with all their players, they are in a warm-up right now, so you get a couple of minutes to run around, shoot, practice, get your joints loosened up, get that hand-eye coordination locked in as well.
And, the beauty of it is we also have to remember that these players are playing in VR. Like, that is one of the coolest things about this game and this league and, what we're able to see on the stream. These players are actually playing in VR. So, your typical FPS game, you're never actually interact with the environment, minus with a keyboard and mouse or a controller, right? But, in this game, you're going to see players, you may see sudden movements, you may see some crazy maneuvers that you would never imagine before. And a huge aspect of that is that this is all hosted in VR, which I think is one of the coolest things ever. It's, not something that you see done every single day within the esports industry. And this is groundbreaking, this is crazy.
Yeah, it's great to see the amount of things that can be done with VR. Just the feeling of being immersed, having to actually crouch in real life, aim with your hands. It's not no controller or keyboard and mouse. It's really testing different parts of your intelligence as well as your physical coordination. It's not just about how fast your fingers can move. It's also about how fast your arms can move now.
Exactly. That's one of the cool aspects of it, just thinking about these players are actually in wherever they're playing at their play space, physically moving, all the mechanics are completely in VR. They have to completely interact with the environment. And that's just a crazy, it changes the gameplay, in terms of what you may typically see in other esports, Here, there's mechanics that can be mastered that you can't do anywhere else because of the aspect that you're actually doing this in your play space. You're physically doing it. And that's just, I think, one of the coolest things about this game and this league that we get to witness.
Yeah. So it looks like we've got both sides with 5 players. And we should be hopping into the first round here.
Happen here. I mean, I a lot of these teams, they're newer. We're not really gonna know what to expect, but I think it's a little fun to throw your predictions just based off of team names. I think that's something that we could throw out here. Just say, hey, I think it's gonna be Team Kermit, or I think it's gonna be Team Vegan.
Right.
But just based off of team names alone, because sometimes team names do say it, other times not so much. Who are you gonna think's gonna pick it up here?
Honestly, it is going to be a close one. I think that both teams are going to do very well here. I mean, right now, it's still a 4v4 on the pistol round. But they are taking this site. 3 are already on site from side colonists. And they are clearing it up. 2 left on the Rayab side. And now just 1 all up to Terror here. Scanner has been planted, but it's not over yet. Looks like Terror might be rotating possibly towards Cat. He might try to go for a couple of picks, but he's losing his health right now. He's only down to less than half.
That's a very scary situation to be, especially when it's you against a team of now 2. It was going to be a team of 3, but they were able to take 1 out. It gets very scary when you're in these scenarios here.
Yeah, so right now Team Vegan's got 2 left, and Kermit's only got Terror. Doesn't sound like there's a lot of time left for that Rayab side to go and defuse that scanner, and down goes Terror, making it 1-0 already. Colonists getting the first point there.
I mean, hey, the colonists are coming into this, and they are looking very solid so far. They were able to get in there quickly. They were able to do what they had to do. And, now we just have to make sure that they can keep this throughout the rest of the game if they want to pick this up.
Right. Keep in mind that was a pistol round, so everything could change right here. Sometimes some players just don't do well in a pistol. And right there, wow, early going on, we have a double kill there as well as a grenade kill. Already taken off 3 players off of the round.
I mean, hey, you could have not said that any better. You were saying, pistol round was first round, second round. Everything changes, the full dynamic of the game changes from pistols to basically full automatic weapons. As we saw Turbo get the 2 picks there at the beginning, unfortunately falling to that grenade. The whole game dynamic basically just changed, Originally, Colonists came in very strong, but, Turbo from Rayab seemed to come back in, no issues, and pick it back up, to put his team on the lead.
Yeah, and right now you can see Team Vegan going for a nice rotate. They got pretty much all of Kermit to rotate to B site, leaving Terror on his own. I think the flash miss. He does find one. Unfortunately, gets taken out. Now it's a 2v3. Puck is at A site, and down goes Soda Wolf. So all up to one player remaining.
We're seeing those nades, so we know the other team is right around the corner. It's not looking very good, though.
Finds one. So now it's a 1v2. Passenger still on B site. I don't think they have an accurate kill count here because Passenger should be rotating to help him out. He can hear where the last one's at. And there's only 15 seconds remaining. He's going to have to go and start that scan if he wants to keep himself in.
He's in a very good position to do this, as we just saw someone from Ray. Oh, gosh, that is unlucky. He was in such a good position there, to get there, and he didn't take advantage of it. He played very passive. He played very more, back, and I guess he was waiting to find the right moment that he felt was right, but obviously waiting that long didn't help him out there as we go into round 3 here. It's going to be 1-1.
And it looks like we're going to have a very strong A push from Team Vegan. It's going to be interesting to see kind of how they split up taking this A site. Looks like they have got 4, just throwing utility and finding one at quad. Terror's alone on A, but we do have Turbo coming in for that flank. And they just completely mopped up Terror there. A trade comes out from A lower as well. So now it is down to a 4v2, Passenger and Alex all on their own. Are they going to be able to pull off this clutch?
Alex is trading some bullets over here, so anything's possible as we see 2 of them start pushing up right now. We're gonna see that the artifact has just started to get scanned, which means the other team only has 45 seconds to defuse this and try to pick it up for their team here.
Correct, and they actually have a little bit less than 45 seconds because it takes 7 to even start defusing it. So if you don't get there with 7 seconds remaining on that scan, then you automatically lose that round.
Yeah, as we see, the Colonists going to pick up round 3 here, making the score 2-1. It's really anybody's game still. We're very early in this game. Anybody can take this home still.
You're right. Yeah, so, that was a great play from Colonists. They really took A site very well. They pushed right up that long and took out Leo, who is the only one pretty much able to stop that aggression. I think he should have used maybe a little bit more utility, some grenades or smokes, just to slow him down, to give his team a little bit more time to rotate. Seems like they might be going for the same play again, but Terra does find one. Doesn't get a second one, unfortunately. So now it is 3 moving up A long, leaving Leo on site alone. He has been spotted as well. So he's kind of in a tough spot, and he's got him right behind him. Oh, going for the nade toss. Unfortunately, it goes down. So now it's a 3v4, but the quick rotate is here. A lot of shots ringing out with a trade. Scanner has started. I'm a little bit late on that timer there. It is now a 2v1, and Passenger is complete.
See, we're seeing the Colonists be very dominant with these automatic weapons now,
Oh, yeah.
Originally, it didn't seem like they had what it takes to, take control with these automatic weapons. But now it seems like they have a plan, they're ready, and they're getting in here with no issues and picking up these rounds now.
Yeah, I think it's huge when a team knows how to be able to play Colonists very well. I feel like if you're a really good Colonist-sided team, you might have a really good chance on going very far in these qualifiers and playoffs, because a lot of times I feel like Colonists are not the well-sided team. It's a little bit more difficult to try and be able to plan out how to move. So they've taken out Alex on B site, leaving Passenger alone on Cat. A lot of shots ringing out, down, underpass, more shots coming out. Passenger takes out one on site actually.
It's also very interesting to see. The Colonists took a completely different approach this round. They've been doing so good with their original approach, and, they decided to fully switch it up, focusing more on that far right side of the map, which I'm very curious why that change was implemented as we see Rayab pick up this round. Honestly, that was a change that I don't think was needed. They were doing so well on the other site, and they chose to switch it up for some reason. And obviously, it did not work in their favor as we go into the next round here.
Yeah, and I think one mistake that the Team Vegan might have made there is when they were crossing underpass, they left quite a few players to kind of hold the underpass cross and just try to go for kills, and it cost them a lot of health. So once they were on that site, they were extremely low of health, and they lost quite a few players. Turbo does play a little aggressive and gets one pick. He's going for a nade toss. Oh, and if he does some damage, he gets Venian Warrior. He also
Second
finds
kill there.
him.
That's a third kill. Wow.
Will he get CJ?
Oh, it's getting
He
close.
hears him. Oh, and CJ
Oh.
gets the kill. Does lose quite a lot of health. He's probably down just to 1. Now it's a 3v2. It's not looking great for Team Vegan here. Ooh, Terror almost had the line of sights onto Soto. Soto does find Alex. Terror does get CJ. So now it is up to a 1v2. And the Rayab get that round win, tying it up 3-3 now.
Oh, I have a question for you here. What do you think has changed in the play style of the colonists that is now making them fall to Rayab a lot easier? You know, we saw them being very prominent on this site. We saw they try to switch it up. It didn't go very well for them. Then decided to bring it back with a full push onto their original site. And it doesn't seem to be going well for them now. You know, now they're starting to, fall behind to Rayab. And, what is it that you think changed
Right.
that made this all happen?
Well, if we kind of pay attention to what they've done these past few rounds, they've really kind of done the same 2 plays. They've either pushed B long together or they've pushed A long. And that makes it a lot more predictable for the defense to know where to nade, where to shoot, and where to hold at. As well as I think the Rayab side is getting a lot better at these early rotates to get to the site. Although right now, the Team Vegan's doing a great job at holding down this site. And it's all up to Passenger now in a 1v4.
It's definitely a scary situation to be in, especially when it's one of you and 4 of the people coming from that underpass right there, not able to pick it up, as we see the colonists pick up this round.
Right, yeah, that was a tough spot there to kind of move up through. Passenger kind of just running in the open, although he doesn't have a lot of time once that scanner starts to go out there. 45 seconds doesn't give you a lot of time to just rotate, but, I feel like if the colonists keep making the same moves, they don't split up, they don't kind of do too many rotates, if they don't, go for fakes, it's going to make it a little bit more predictable, and that's kind of why it's getting pretty close, because a lot of these Rayab know where to kind of hold, where to watch, and once they start to see more than 2 people, they have a good idea, hey, they're coming this way, because that's what they've been doing. They've been stacking sides.
Yeah, something we're definitely seeing very early on in this matchup is the Colonists is a team that, likes to stick together. These players, they have a good dynamic when they stick together, when they work together, and that's where they've seen their most success. Unlike Rayab, where, their strategy has been to split up. They split sites, make sure they have every angle covered if possible. And, obviously, we have a swap coming up later on, and it's going to be interesting to see how these play dynamics change, whether if our Rayab team's going to stick to, splitting sites and our colonists are going to stick to sticking together, or if they're going to pull out something completely different, because you never know what to expect with these teams, as soon as team swaps come up and, sides are swapped. But right now, it seems like our Rayab team's going to be very split while our colonists are going to be very together, which it seems to be working for both teams very well.
Right. Yeah, I feel like if I were on the Rayab side right now for Team Kermit, I'd be playing pretty passive. I wouldn't play too aggressive because I know that if I'm gonna go try to win a 1v1, it's really a 1v3 or 4 because they play pretty stacked. So I would probably play it slow, let them come to me, and it looks like we're seeing our first fake here. They're sending ZA7, and they're playing it slow, playing it quiet so that they could take this site after the rotate. Although the fake didn't quite work, Terra does get CJ, and Leo does get 2 with a trade. So now it is a 2v2, but Benyon does take A site. Now he's the only one here, leaving Alex on his own at B.
I mean, look, it started off not working so well, but ZA7 was able to get some pretty good picks. Now it's going to be down to a 1v1 scenario, and honestly, that strategy might just work out for them here. We have to kind of see how the rest of this decides to play out. but it honestly may have not started the best, but honestly it picked itself back up, and they might be able to get this here.
Yeah, so we can see the scans coming out now from Warrior. So now there's only 45 seconds left for Alex to get this final kill. It's going to be interesting to see how Warrior plays this. He's going to be playing all the way in the back of A long. If I were Alex, I would put a smoke on this objective and just start diffusing the scanner and interrupting it, because Warrior's all the way back there. Although Alex is doing the right thing. He's checking these corners. I guess he probably wasn't prepared to hear Warrior run back there. He's running low on time.
Yeah, and Warrior is back there waiting for something. Here's that the scan is trying to be stopped right now. Has to get there quick, though. If not, they're not going to make it in time. Wow, that is not good. Wow, Warrior decided to play very far back, which seemed like a good idea, but they weren't able to capitalize when it came to them stopping the scan. Once you saw the scan being stopped, they still stayed very back. They were very hesitant with coming back up. And, that 1 second makes a huge difference. If they would have been there a second earlier, it could have been the difference of this scan finishing or the scan being stopped.
Yeah, Alex did a great job.
That's just what we didn't see. We're going to be going into round 10 here. We're already seeing 2 players dropped. Going to be a 4-on-4 here. Score is going to be 5-4.
With your opponents pushing very far to the left on the map. We're seeing a lot of trades. Turbo dropping another kill. Turbo's definitely a player to watch. We see Turbo drop 2 kills. Turbo's definitely a good player to watch.
Round loss.
We see Ray out. Pick up this round.
We're switching sides.
And here we are, switching sides now.
I gotta say, Turbo is definitely somebody you do not want to mess with. These rounds start early, and we see Turbo very early on dropping all the picks. The only thing we need to see Turbo to really keep Turbo as like a very, very high player to watch is keeping Turbo alive. That's what this team really needs to be focusing on, in my opinion. If Turbo stays alive with how much he is assisting them with these kills, Turbo's a powerhouse to be reckoned with, and if they keep Turbo alive a lot longer, I think Thomas will be around a lot quicker.
Right. Now we're looking at another pistol round here, so we're going to see if Team Vegan can get another round win using pistols, kind of overpower them, or if Kermit's going to actually kind of change up the game of pace. Looks like they were going A. They decided, you know what, there's 4 of them here. We're going to do a quick rotate to B. And if we look here, look at the entire team is on the site.
I mean, we're seeing how the dynamic change. I was talking about this earlier. Once you see the switch, the whole game can change. Now we're seeing everything was starting out at very fast pace. The rounds were ending very quickly, and now we're seeing time be played with a little bit. As we're gonna see that kill right there, with one of the Reyes popping out. So the whole dynamic of the game just changed. We're expecting some fast-paced round here going into the swap. And we saw the complete opposite. We saw very slow-paced, very collected. They really thought out their whole process before getting into it. And that is awesome to see as we get into this test round here.
Stops the stand, buying some more time. Warrior gets one, gets another. Can he clutch it up? He's got very low health here. It's a 1v1 situation, but he's got Terror on his flank. Oh, and he misses the clutch, giving Terror another round win.
That was, it's very cool to see how much map knowledge these players have. Just there, one was sitting on the corner, the other was coming around the flank, and at the same exact time, they both just popped up and shots were being fired. It is just crazy to see, how these players are utilizing this map and how aware they are about the structures in this map and how they can be utilized.
Exactly. So now we're going to see Kermit kind of...
Whatever you did to get game audio back, definitely
push this way.
Doubled up Brax's audio.
Into round 12 here. They
see our colonists push up all together. 2 drop dead from the colonist side, 1 drop from the Rayab side.
Good trade going on.
Yeah, good trade there.
So now it's a 2v1 with 1 player from Kermit, and Passengers completely threw his gun on the ground, went for the full commit onto the scan, and lost it there.
I mean, hey, it's plays like those that you're like, it's truly unlucky. You know, they thought they were in the clear, but then as soon as they started that scan, they realized very quickly that they were nowhere in the position that they thought they were. Which, it happens, you know, that's what happens in this game. It's very fast-paced. You got to make sure you're watching all your corners, and you got to make sure you're ready for anything.
Exactly. So now we're going to see Kermit once again try to take A site. They're very committed. Terra trying to watch for 1 crossing the quad. I think they might have seen it. They don't quite have a lot of defense here on A. Who's going to have to rotate, but Warrior gets a nice nade down A long. Also finds Passenger. Couple trades coming out in the mid. So now it leaves 2 players left on the Kermit.
We're going to see that we're going to start seeing some rotations here. But it doesn't seem to be working right now for our colonists as Rayab picks up this round here. You know, they tried to rotate, they tried to be able to pick this up, but I think it didn't work for them. You know, they all came the same direction, and you know, our Rayab team picked that up very quickly. You know, if you're all going to push the same direction, you're going to get caught very quickly, and that's exactly what we just saw here.
Right. Seems like our colonist side are a little bit slow off the break here, losing a couple of seconds on where they're going and who's got scanned. Looks like we might see Cat approach here. They do have 3 at B site, although they just lost 1 to Leo. Soto in a very good spot here to kind of tuck in Cat, but no one's watching. Soto gets taken out from Cat's side, leaving CJ alone. CJ goes down. Everyone is on B site. It's a 4v2. Warrior and are now both having to catch up and retake site here.
You know, the colonists had a plan, and they executed that perfectly. You know, Rayab was not prepared for what they're about to go into. You know, we had some players that were on the full right side of the map, and then we had others that played a lot more farther back, you know, and they were, you know, waiting for the right moment to push in there. And once they found it, they were all in there, fully ready to go. But it doesn't seem like
wow!
Very well as that nade goes off and takes out
What a nade!
Warrior. Wow! It's going to be a 2-on-1 scenario here, but Turbo is able to take one out, making this a 1-on-1 scenario. Like we said, Turbo is one of these players that you have to watch out for. Turbo is going to be there, and we're watching him very quickly as Turbo is to take out the Rayab. That's I've been saying since the beginning. Turbo is one of these players that you have to watch out for. You know, we saw a play that it looked amazing in the beginning, but obviously Rayab was able to capitalize on it at one point, with Turbo being able to save this round for the colonists. That was an awesome play from the colonists.
Yeah, now, I gotta admit, though, Warrior and did some work there on Cat. They started picking off those players. They almost made a comeback. And CJ gets 2, almost goes for 3 off of the early break. Terra was able to shut him down, so now it is a 4v3. Kermit are now down another player.
Right here is turning quickly into a 4v2 situation. It's not looking very good for the colonists right now. You know, Rayab is very scattered. They're trying to find these flanks, and you know, colonists are down very quickly, and they don't have a lot of health to be on their side. This just dropped to a 4v1 scenario.
Round lost.
Rayab picking it up. It was just not good for them there. You know, Rayab knew what they were doing that round. They were ready for them, and as soon as they saw them, they took all their shots, made all of them, and dropped colonists very quickly.
Yeah, it was a tough one. You know, Alex and Terra were not in a great position there. They were just kind of trapped in the middle, and they started getting flanked. They lost that B long with Scanner, so they didn't have Scanner. Scanner was down. A couple trades coming out in refrags. 4v4 still. Like a B approach here. Some days getting thrown, but not finding anyone. A lot of distraction shots. Some callouts might be coming out from Cat from Stun to Soto. Brings Soto down to like 1 health. Down goes Soto. So now sight is clear. You still have whom in the underpass though. He's watching that cross from Cat. It's a 4v2. We have our Cat approach from Warrior as well. Warrior does find Turbo, and he's not in a great position. He's going to get squished from Alex. Warrior comes up and trades with Alex. So now it is 9-7, getting just a little bit closer to the end be all round on this first match.
The colonists really went in there and they were very strong. You know, as I saw there, we had, I think there was like almost 4 of them on the site at once at one point. You know, they had some very dominant, you know, presence there, and that's what you got to see. You know, you need to be dominant in these rounds. You got to make sure that you're on site, you are outnumbering the other side, because you know the outnumbering is really what it comes down to. If you can outnumber the other players and hit your shots, you can pick it up very quickly. We're gonna see them taking a different approach now, as they go to this other site now. Interesting to see for them. But you know, the colonists do seem to be holding their weight pretty well.
Yeah, right now it's all up to ZA7. And Leo's watching that mid rotate. He might go for a nade kill here. Oh, I think someone might have gone underpass, so he's doing a quick nade there. He's gonna toss one behind his shoulder. He is, but not primed enough. ZA7 gets the headshot onto Leo. He's gonna have to try and clutch this up, and unfortunately misses the shots. And now it is 10-7. Kermit in the lead against Team Vegan.
I mean, this game is getting very close very quickly. As we see, the score right now is going to be 7-10. Right up with 7, colonists with 10, which means we're getting very close to the end of this first matchup here. Colonists have been very dominant. You know, Reyes has had their moments too, and they have been very consistent with their defenses. But as we saw that swap of sides, you know, the whole dynamic of the game kind of changed a little bit, you know? Originally what we were expecting was fast pace going into, you know, the the team swap. And that's not what we saw. We saw everybody kind of slow down a lot more, think out their moves, and, you know, it's definitely changed the whole dynamic of this game.
Warrior just took 2 nades with both hands and just threw them overhand.
I don't know what we just watched there.
2v1. This could be it right here to end the round. All I saw this round was everyone just wanting to go mid and get these picks onto the colonist side. Now there's a great smoke, and they're gonna make it on site.
I think both teams are mentally preparing for, you know, game 2 already. You know, they're all in the mindset of, you know, teams that are in the lead are going to get in the mindset of, you know, we're good to go, let's just finish this up and get into the next game, you know? And that might be what we're seeing here, or it might not, you know? Every team has a different mentality. But we have a lot of people that, you know, they get into their mind and they're like, you know, they're ready for the next one, they're ready to end it out. But, you know, it's still a 2-on-1 situation here, and there's still a chance for them to pick this up.
Right, it's not over yet. Let's keep in mind Turbo is on very thin ice on his health. He's practically at 0. So it's really almost a 1v1 if he can get... Wow, and just like that, this might not be over. I think there might be a clutch here. He just has to kill Turbo. Maybe fake the scan. Oh, he doesn't have time. He's going to have to one-shot it. Oh, and he doesn't. That is it. That is the first match. Kermit wins 11-7 against Team Vegan. Well played.
I don't know what to say about that. Their Turbo was basically one tap. You could have missed every single shot, and as long as one bullet hit, it would have been over for Turbo. But Turbo somehow managed to pick that one up. That is impressive.
Yeah, it really was. And we saw a lot of great plays coming out from that match too. If we kind of look back at some of the plays we saw, we also have this amazing replay of that grenade kill. Like, that was just impressive. It was almost a great comeback from Team Vegan. I mean, Warrior with that nade kill was a huge glimpse of hope for their team. Unfortunately, they did struggle a little bit to bring back that round. But overall, I mean, that was a close game. For the first half, I was thinking, man, it's really, you know, trying to catch up with Team Vegan. Kermit was just, falling behind round by round. They were catching up, but they seemed to stay down by a round. And then after that first half, and we switched sides, that's when it's no longer Kermit trying to catch up. It's Team Vegan trying to catch up. So it was a really good place. We said it from the beginning. Pistol rounds don't mean everything, and same with the sides. When sides switch, the whole dynamic changes, and one team might just start taking a huge lead. There was a lot of trades going on this game. A lot of teams just, these players just running out, trying to get these kills and narrow down the overall numbers. But a lot of times you got to play that scanner. You got to play that artifact. If you're not playing the artifact and you're playing for kills, it's going to make it a lot more difficult for you to win these rounds. But, I mean, both teams did amazing. It was so close. I was having a great time casting that first match as well.
Right there.
Yeah, it was. Lot of respect for both teams that showed up to play on that first match. I'm very curious to see how they do for the rest. I think both teams are going to do pretty well. I think both Kermit and both Team Vegan are going to win a couple more maps on these next 2 rounds. So it's going to be interesting to see. I am curious to see who our next match is going to be, though. I don't know if all the matches are completed yet. So we'll see how we do.
Yeah, I mean, hey, once we get into our next matchup, there's going to be a lot of new things that we got to figure out here. We got to figure out who are the players to watch, what these team strats are, because every team dynamic is different. We never know what we're going to get into with our next game. So, you got to see what happens in the next round.
Yeah. And I will like to apologize to everyone that was watching from earlier. We were having a couple of technical difficulties with the stream, still trying to get a couple things ironed out. Hopefully by the next match we won't have any issues on both game audio, caster audio, and team names and logos. Still trying to fix those couple things there. But aside from that, hopefully I was able to get the good gameplay, as that's what everyone is here for. That's definitely our top priority. If there was no game video, that would be a huge issue, but luckily we were able to keep that going. So until then, though, we're going to go ahead and hop into an intermission. We're going to make sure we got everything working out, and we'll be back in just a moment.